Going good, unlike last time. So, anyway, welcome back. And as promised, I'll be looking at 100 Endgames You Must Know. That's something that I've done on Chessable before. I've gone through the whole book. It's been a while though, so it'll be kind of like seeing it fresh for me. And I'm looking forward to just kind of casually solving the puzzles with you guys and chatting, that kind of thing. I am not dead set on getting a certain percent right or something. I've already done this book enough. I feel like I've gleaned the main points from it. So I mostly just want to show you guys what it's like. 1 second. Adjust my sound settings a little bit. Okay, so let's see. Let me just make sure you guys can see my stuff. Looks like it's on the wrong position, so let me fix that up. I'm also using a new device, so I'm hoping I don't mess anything up. Weird how it's stuck. That's not right. If it's not live on Twitch, Vedant, it's just because it's delayed. It just went live on YouTube or something. Actually, Stream Elements tells me it's live, so it should be there soon. Okay, clearly you've gotten it right. Okay, just give me a second. I don't know why it's like giving me a hard time. It does not want to show the right board, but I'll get it. I will. They can't stop me. Alright, little hack there. Okay, it doesn't look right because I'm going to show you the board, but right now I'm navigating through their chapter list. So if you've never used Chessable, usually the books they're virtual books, and you can play the moves after you read the text. Usually they have a timer, and they're arranged in chapters. So I'm going to start with Introduction. If I do review all, it'll probably go in order anyway, but just to be really sure. Okay, let's see if I can avoid timing out with my new mouse, which I'm very slow about. Okay, so this one, we're trying to not lose, right? I think we're white to play here. If we play King H1, they'll play King F2, and that's bad, so we play the only other legal move. Very simple way to start out. I guess that's why it's in the introduction. Give me 1 second. I'm checking everything. Make sure I'm not talking to dead air. Okay. Everything's good in the world. So that's a simple one. Let's move on. Nothing really to see here. We're in check. Oh no. But the bishop is on a different color, so there's no risk in going in the corner. This is how we can get a stalemate. It's not stalemate yet, because they could move their bishop away, so we can go back to g1, but then they can't make any progress, so that's a fortress. Okay. This one should be similar, because if I stay in the corner, there's no way that they can checkmate me with just the knight. They'd have to try very hard. Okay. A couple easy ones to start. This one, I think either move draws, so I'm kind of not sure about that. Wait, hold on. If I play King E1, they'll play Bishop A6, and then it's not a draw, so I have to go to G1. The reason it's not a draw after Bishop A6 is I can't get back, and they can play King F2 and take the G2 pawn. So here, I think here I can do either move. It doesn't really matter, so I'll do the slightly more active move. I mean, it doesn't matter, but then at this point, all you have to do is know how to take a step back whenever you're forced to, and take the opposition. So that's a pretty easy one. Obviously, if you guys have any questions along the way, we can try to hash it out. This book gets pretty challenging at some point, I seem to recall. Alright, this is Stalematesville. I'm going to go in the corner. And nobody puts baby in the corner but me. Okay. This one, the answer is knight c4. I'm pretty confident. Knight c4, king f1, knight d2, king g1, knight f3, pawn takes, king f1. Hold on. Pawn takes, king f1. Is that right? Knight c4. Knight king f1, knight d2. Sorry, I'm just calculating. King g1, knight f3. Maybe it's not knight f3 right away. So knight c4 to d2. King e2 maybe. They play king h1, knight f3. It's like a stalemate. They have to take it. King takes king g1 and g2. Yeah, that looks like it's winning. I bet there's more than one way to win this position. Okay, king h1. I just need to be careful not to do something hasty. I think it's king e2. Alternative. Oh man, every time I hit an alternative move, I just get frustrated and then I make a mistake. I don't like the alternate moves. I mean, they're a reality. Usually there's more than one way to play at the end game. They're all kind of similar. Alright, so let's say I play knight f3. Maybe I was wrong about knight f3. Knight f3, pawn f3, king f3, king f1, g2, king g1, king g3 is a draw. Could it be something like king f4? I feel like that's just okay. King e4 should also do the trick. I think these are all perfectly okay moves. I don't know why they're so picky. And that's not stalemate because they can play king 2 h3. So we get what we came for. Was that the whole introduction chapter? Hold on. Did I make a mistake here? Boop, boop, boop. Just looking really down. I guess that was the whole introduction chapter. Okay, so just baby steps. So let's go to the next chapter. There was some text in there, but since I'm reviewing, it doesn't really show the text, but I really don't want to sit here and read you a bedtime story. So we're going to skip over the text unless I get something wrong, and then we'll read the text. Okay, basic endgames. Basic stuff. Okay, this is like a square rule thing. The rule of the square, I mean, it's even in the text, so you can kind of, it's a giveaway. But the point is that if the king is, so the king has to stop this pawn if it starts running, right? So sometimes you want to know if you can just win by pushing the pawn instead of bringing your king, because sometimes those wasted moves with the king will end up in a drawn position, like what we saw in the introductory chapter. So the square rule means, I'm going to try to draw squares here without making a mistake. So the square rule means that if you drew a square where the diagonal, like the opposite corner, touches the end of the board, this is also like not a completely correct square. I'll get to that in a second. So you draw a square like this, and if the king is inside the square or can get in the square on their move, it means they can catch the pawn in time. That's a very useful rule of thumb because it's a lot faster to imagine the square than it is to count the moves and cross your eyes imagining the moves. There's just one exception to the rule, and it's this position. By the way, this rule only applies if you have one pawn. So the exception here is that this pawn can go 2 steps. So when the pawn is on the second rank, you draw the square from right in front. Like that. Handy trick. And so here, since it's white's turn, black is not in the box. We can win by playing a4. You don't have to calculate anything if you know the square rule. Oop. I wish I could pre-move here. And I'll make a donkey. Just kidding, a queen. Alright. Easy enough. Okay, so this one's similar. We want to push the pawn. The thing is that they can play, their only source of counterplay is king d8, king c8, king b8. I'm pretty confident that at this early stage, if I play b4 and they play king d8, I can still win with king b7, but there's no reason not to play king c7 and just stop their plan altogether. So let me just see if there's any issue with that. King c7, king e6, b4, king d5, b5, no problem. They're not getting anywhere near this pawn. Alright, and that's easy money. Cool, next one. Just check on you guys. Yep, welcome bishop pair. This one is like, am I a joke to you? F7. I'm a lot more likely to get a puzzle like this wrong by misclicking than anything. Alright, this is actually difficult for some people because the concept of preventing the king from entering and things like that, it's a little bit abstract. But basically, white wants their king on g7, they want their pawn on f8, so we have to stop them from doing their king moves. And after f7, obviously we don't play king h8 because we lose, so we have to go back to f8. And this is kind of, you can extrapolate this to a general principle, that whenever you are in front of the pawn, you don't want to go to the side where the king is not there. You want to stay on the side where their king is, so we can block their king from entering. And whenever possible, if you are stuck because the pawn's in front of you, you step directly backwards, not diagonally. Okay, this one, if I play king to b6, they'll play king b8. After c7, king c8, it's a draw, so I have to play king a6. Easy money. Hopefully these easy ones will go quickly. Okay, so king f5 is like the obvious move, so I'll just play it. And then here, if I play king f6, they play king f8, so I have to play king g6. Opposition is when the kings are just one square apart, and the other person has to move away. Basically, it's a trick to get control of some key squares. In this case, I want control of f7 eventually. See how my king's going to get on f7? It's because of that little trick. Okay, what's going on here? White to play. Am I in check? Oh god, I'm in check. How horrible. I think king g1 and king h1 both draw. Because after king h1, king f2 is stalemate. So, like, why are they asking me this question? King g1... Oh no, king g1, g2, king h2 is not a draw. So I have to play king h1. Tricky, tricky. I needed the stalemate. Now here I still want my king on like e7 or g7, so I need to use this opposition again. Force them to go away from the critical squares. And then pony up the queen. Cool. Okay, if I play g6, that's night-night. Let me see, king g6, king g8, king h6, king h8, g6, king g8, g7. That should win. I feel like there should be more than one win here, though. King f6, king h7, g6, king g8 is h7. I think king f6 also wins, so it's king g6 and... Alright, king g6, king g8, king h6, king h8, g6, king g8, g7. I think this is just fine. Getting control of those critical squares again. Yeah, of course it's happening when you're in chess class, Shura. What would you rather watch? Don't tell me. Alright, here I think I have to just come over to c6 and c7, because that's where the important things are occurring. Do the opposition again. e7's a happy square too. The pawn stops them from playing king c6. And here comes the bride. That's what we like. It's even better when you get two queens. But you gotta know how to keep one queen before you can figure out how to keep two queens. Okay, here I'm defending. This black pawn's coming down. So if I play king b2, they'll play king b4 and get opposition. That seems unpleasant. So I'll play king b1. Sneaky move. Now if they play any king move, I just take the opposition myself. So opposition is good for attacking chess and defending chess. Recently, Lichess came out with a new module about various tactics, and people really were screeching for opposition to be included as a motif. But opposition is really just a special kind of Zugzwang, so I don't think it really deserves its own motif. It's just a basic thing. Okay, here they have the opposition, so no number of king moves will help. I have to play pawn move. I go here. Am I gonna Zug them out? I think g5, king g8, g6, king h8, g7, king g8 is a draw. So g5, king g8, king g6 should be the spice of life. Oh, I didn't like it. So I'll just play king g6 first. And then do it again. And then king h6, king g8, g6, king h8, g7, king g8, that's a draw. So pardon me. King f7, king h7, g6 check. That should win. Comes with check. That's important. Otherwise there might be a stalemate trick here. But nope, no tricks. Easy peasy stuff. Am I a joke to you? Come on, we play king h1. Yawn yawn. We just can't let them make a queen. It's simple. Even if you just randomly guessed, like anyone would guess that move. It doesn't need to be in a book. Okay, so they want to promote on a1, so I'm going to try to mosey on down in there. And since their king is trying to stop me from getting to the corner, I'm just going to trap their king. Your king will not pass. You shall not pass. If I play king b3, I lose because of a2. Actually, king b3, a2, king c2 is a draw. So can I possibly mess this up? Is it possible? I was thinking initially king c1, but this might also just force the issue. It's an alternate, of course. This is a really nice book, by the way. I really recommend that people get it if they are kind of looking for a first book on chess endgames. Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual is like the Bible of endgames, but like the Bible, it's a little tricky to read. Okay, so I'm just gonna play some moves here. Rook g1. Just try not to mess this up because it's a very forced sequence. There's only one way, I think. Just gonna bully this bishop. Oh no! I made a mistake. I was not focusing. I knew the answer was rook c2, but I just kind of got inertia. Basically, I wanted this position. I thought he would play bishop f8. He being the abstract opponent. And this is Zugzwang because I have to put their king in the corner. I focused so hard for a couple moves and then got distracted. Tragic. Such an easy puzzle, too. At this early stage, making mistakes. Alright, I just can't worry. It's just a casual review. It's only because people asked for it. Okay, I remember this being a little bit of a tricky defense. It's possible, but seems tricky. So let me just plan out the next couple moves here. So bishop g8 was forced. That's why I played it right away. Here, if I play like bishop h7, they just take it, so that's bad. Bishop f7, if they take it, it's not stalemate, so there's no tricks like that. So I have to go far away. But where I go far away seems important. The idea for white, pardon me, would be to check my king out of the corner and then try to make some double attack on the bishop in the back rank. Like, if my king was in the a8 corner or the h1 corner, I'd probably be losing. So they want to force me to do something like that. I don't think they have any way of doing that directly, so I don't think it matters what my next move is. So I'll just play this one. Now, do I check? If I check and they play king h6 again, and I go back, that's just a repetition, so it's probably not terrible. But what if I check and they play king f7? I check again. I don't think there's a problem with that. It looks like I'm successfully keeping the corner. If I play bishop g8, is there any problem with that? Probably they'd play like rook g7. I'd go back, they play rook h7, I play king g8. They play like rook h3, bishop c4, rook a3, threatening me. That looks like the wrong way, so I think I should check now. It's an alternate. Tricky alternates. Well, if it's an alternate, it means I can just wait. And I'd rather stay far away from the king, so not bishop d5. Okay, I have to do that, so I do that. They were under duress, so they had to move the rook. They're threatening mate, but I have a check. If I go back in the corner, I lose, so I also don't want to let them check me and make me go on f7. I want to keep contact with the h8 square. That's where the draw is going to happen. So probably I should play like bishop to f5 or a6. If I go bishop a6, they'll play something like rook c6. I'd have to play bishop b7 to keep contact with c8. They'd play rook b6. I don't have any more good bishop moves, so I think I have to play bishop f5. Alternate? Gotta be kidding me. Alternates are killing me. I probably act like very irritable when I'm solving this book, but it's really a good book. I just get irritable when I get simple things wrong sometimes. Let me see if I can get my lighting a little better. Nope. I guess there must be some way that bishop a6 works. Bishop a6, I was worried about rook c6. Bishop b7, rook b6. Bishop f5 is an alternate. Like, just let me play the alternate move. I feel like I see what's going to happen after bishop f5, and it's perfectly fine. Alright, is there any other possible move that it could be besides bishop a6? I mean, I feel like bishop a6 is bad, but I think every other move is like losing. Like if I play bishop b5, they'll play rook c8, king f7. That does not look like it's a draw anymore. Alright, I'll just try it. Alternate again. No, I never said I was doing the final test. I'm just showing the book. Start at the beginning. Bishop e4. I mean, I guess any move could be it at this point. If bishop f5 and bishop a3 are and bishop a6 are good, then any move could be it. So I'll just try this one. But let's read and see why they like this one. All right, it doesn't give any reason. It's just any move. All right, that's annoying. Okay. Okay, so this one is not really that hard, but it looks hard because the knight is in one of the worst possible squares. It's on the edge of the board, and black has a rook in one of the best possible squares, the 7th rank. But we get out with a little help from our friends. Basically, don't move your knight far away from the king. This is kind of the gist of it. I think here I have to move my king. Alternate? I think I'll just attack the rook and come back then. Well, they're threatening me. I guess I better stop them. Hold on, let me just calculate a little bit. Rook g1, if they play something like rook d2, am I okay? Knight f6, rook f7, It must be king e1. King e1. Because if I'm out in the open with the king and the knight, it's like no checkmate. Okay. Solid. Okay. So that was the basic endings chapter. I made one mistake, but it was just from playing too fast. I definitely know that position. Basic test. See, when they put the word test on it, I don't like that. I don't like tests. But let's do it anyway. White to move. What should I play? What's the result? So, intuitively, I feel I should just put my knight on g3 so they don't make a queen. I think it's a draw. Like, let's say I play knight g3. I guess the idea for them is to bring their king in, but they can't play king e4 because that's check. They can't play king e3 because of knight f1. So they have to take the long way home. They have to play king d3. I get to play a king move, like king d6. They still can't play king e2 because of the knight, so they play king d2. I play king e5. They play king e1. I play king f4. And there's just no way that I can lose this, so it's knight g3. What? I thought I set up the barrier with knight g3. Alright, so what's the win? Knight g3. King e5. Okay, I missed king e5. I think king e5 and then king f4 is good. But knight f2 does what I was hoping it would do. If they play king e3, we play knight g4, so they have to go this long way. Ugh, can't believe I messed that up. But it's okay. It's first thing in the morning. I haven't done it in a while. Just good to remember the review. And here, if they take the knight, we can trap their king. Womp. Has anyone ever done Twitch plays chess with one of these? Good question. I don't know. I don't really know what that is. Could you explain a little bit? What is a Twitch plays chess? Also, welcome Pug. Okay, white to move. Is it a draw? Is it? Is it really? Okay, the pawn's coming down, so I have to do something shrewd. Let's see if it's like knight b3, and they play king g3, and I play knight d2, and they play h2, I play knight f1, and that picks up the pawn. That could be like my only hope. Knight b3, what if they play something like king g2? Knight d2. Knight d2, h2. Looks kind of bad. See, I really should have reviewed this at some point. Oh my god, it'd be crazy if you could give people control over the puzzles. Maybe we should talk in Discord about how we could make that happen. We could just like play chess that way and see what kind of nonsense happens. Twitch plays chess. We get to vote or something. Alright, so knight c4 has like the same idea as knight b3, but maybe it's more precise. Knight c4, king g2. c4, king g2, knight e5, h2. This king g2, that's tricky. Who's Hushin Beth? I don't even know who that is. Let me just do a little quote in the stream chat. Knight c4, king g2, knight e3 check. That looks very promising. Alright. Is it really knight e3 check? I just got a little extra time. The timer resets for every move of the puzzle. Okay, so knight e3, king f2, knight g4 looks good. We can just do ring around the rosy with the pawn. I think it's our only bet. Alright, got it. Cool. Let me just check on Discord real quick. Okay. Okay. Black to move. Is it a draw? Is it? Is it really? Well, I don't think it's a draw. King to g3. If they play like knight g1, we just play h2, and after knight e2 check, king f2, they should not be able to stop the pawn. So that nixes knight g1. King g3, they could play like knight e1, but then h2, it's like the same thing. They're never going to control h1. They can't get on h2. So after king g3, knight g5, h2, knight e4 check, king g2, they can't touch h1 or h2. So I think that's losing. Maybe king g3, knight d2. The idea is if I play h2, they play knight f1. So king g3, knight d2, king g2. I think that's it. Alternate move. The alternates drive me nuts. Nuts. I'm just checking on you guys real quick. Alright, Twitch plays pure chess, 70,000 viewers. Oh, it's Hushinbet the GM. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. That's funny. It's no surprise that a GM will win 4-0 against the Twitch chat. Otherwise, I mean, Twitch chat would be the real king. Well, if king g3 is an alternate move, that makes me think that king g2 is probably just fine as well. See, they really want their knight on like h3, h2, something like that. So if we play king g2, can they get that? Is it possible? I think king g2 and then king g3 should do the trick. Alright, and then we win. Pawn's running. They cannot go on g2 or f3. Easy dubs. Okay, so this one is white to play. And is it a draw? I feel like there's probably multiple ways that it's not a draw. Let's see. I could do like queen d4 or queen h2. I really just don't want them to get their king on a1. And they're threatening to promote right now, so that's not good. So maybe queen d4. If they play like king e1, I'll play queen c3 check, king d1, queen d3 check, king c1. So then they can't promote, and then I'll play king c4, king b1, threatening to promote, but I don't care, king b3. They make a queen, I play queen a2. I think that's a winning line. Let's see if it's an alternate move. Oop, not an alternate. Love it. Okay, so I bully the pawn. Bully, bully. Why you bully? Okay, so they go there. I do some of these. So they're trying to stop me from playing king b3. That's rude. I feel like queen d2, king a1 is what they want, so I should stop them with queen c3. Alternate move. Driving me nuts with the alternate moves. But it's okay. I guess it's important to know all the moves or something. Not just one move. Queen d2 mayhaps. Maybe queen b3. But queen b3, king a1, queen a3, king b1, king b3. I mean, it's still winning, but it feels kind of weird to let them like promote to a knight with check and stuff like that. So queen b3, king a1, queen a3, king b1, king b3. I feel like that should just win. Alright, I'm going to try queen b3 because it's also winning. Should at least be an alternate move. Okay, check. Maybe I go to c3 now. Maybe they wanted it with tempo for some reason, but that allows oh, that allows nada. So I could wait, queen c3, king b1, king b3, c1. I don't have check, so I should do this one. Alternate. Again, I can't hold all these alternates. The reason I'm not playing queen c2 is that's stalemate. We don't like stalemate. So I think this move should at least be an alternate. Okay, cool. King b3. If they make a queen, I play queen d3 check. King a1, queen a6 check. Okay, this should win. Boom. I feel like this is just unnecessary finesse, or maybe I just don't know how to play chess. They don't qualify any of their moves in the comments, so I'm just not going to criticize. Okay. I'm probably going to do this for another like half an hour or something. I have some other stuff I need to do, but maybe I'll do a series. If you guys like this, I'll just do the whole book for all of you. Okay, so this one looks like they're trying to checkmate me. I don't like that. Probably they want to play like e6 and rook a8, but they can only play one at a time, so I should not let them play like, if I play rook b6, they play pawn e6, and then I have to go back to give checks, but then they play rook a8 checkmate. So I should really play a move like this one. The idea is just to keep an eye on the pawn. If they play king e6, I'll just dance around with my king. I'll play like king f8. They can't catch me. Haha. This is a pretty hard one. You have to like play it out to understand, I think. Okay. Black to move. Is it a draw? Good question. What is what Carlson said? He said something about the alternate moves or what? Yeah, fast king. Kings go burr. So, black to move. Is it a draw? I'm pretty sure I can just draw with king d3. I'm not even going to question it. I think I can just play that move. And then king c4 would blunder the bishop, so I should probably not do that. I could probably go anywhere with this bishop, so maybe bishop h4. Maybe I should just play, if I play bishop e7, I wonder if the tempo king e2 is useful. Probably not. I'll just play king 2, c4, and take the pawn, because even if I'm down a bishop, I really can't lose like that. Okay, so I think it's bishop e7. I wonder if the move bishop f4 with tempo is helpful. So maybe I should actually not do that. Okay, so maybe I should be playing bishop h4 after all, because after bishop h4, they could play like, oh, I don't know, bishop f4. And if I play king c4, they would play b6, and I want to be able to play a move like bishop f2 to attack the pawn. And then if they play b7, trying to make a queen, I would be just in time to play bishop a7. But probably I could also do it through g5. I think they're both a-okay. So I'm just going to go far away. I'm really good at that these days. Just going really far away, not bothering anyone. Alright, so bishop g5. Purse first. King's coming in. Oh no! I had to stop the pawn. I got it in the wrong order. How frustrating. So if I had played... Alright, I'll review this in a second. This is what I needed. I remembered the main idea, but I got it wrong. So if I play king to c4 first, they play b6. I play bishop to e3. They play b7. I play bishop to a7. I guess they would... I think that's still a draw. I think that's an error. I'm pretty sure that's still a draw. Because, like, I don't know how they can make progress. Alright, let's check it out. One of the other cool things you can do, I don't do this that much, but you can open an analysis board. Alright, let's see if you guys can see it. Hold on. Alright, cool. It looks really bad, but this is the analysis board. I'm just gonna flip on the Engeroni here. It says white wins with b6. Okay, so b6. It says play any move you want, you knucklehead. b7, bishop a7. And it says like any move here for white wins. Alright, let's say bishop d8. Okay, I go here. It's making some kind of like crop circles. I don't really get it. I don't know why it says this is a win. So bishop f8. Really? Win? It's telling me to like put the bishop in the corner. This is just ridiculous. Okay, I see a plan maybe. It's just, I'm not sure how they're going to actually accomplish it. Like, alright, I'm just going to leave this for later. I'll just analyze this on my own time. I don't want to distract you all from the content in the book. But if there's a win there, it's like a study win. Alright, let's just move on. That's interesting though. Just as a general principle, it makes a lot of sense to just not let them advance the pawn. The farther it gets along, frequently the better their winning chances are. So I should have just automatically played that move instead of being hasty with king c4, even though that's what I wanted to do. Alright, white to move. Is it a draw? No, it's not a draw, because there's space in front of the pawn. I can do this, and then I can do some of these, and then I can put them in Zugzwang by playing like any move. Is that right? Any move? Maybe this move in particular. Alternate. Always an alternate. Shenanigans. Maybe I could do this one first. Alternate again. Okay. We love alternates. Okay, here if I play bishop b4 and they take it, I play g7 and I get a queen. Don't tell me that's wrong. I should play this one instead, just for... Ah, come on. Okay. Again, I went too fast. This is kind of obvious. The only place they can go is back, so... I think we get a tempo like this. This is just a basic endgame. Looks like I need to review. Alright, is bishop c4 a good move or a bad move? Or is it irrelevant? I think bishop c4 is not the ideal setup. I think the ideal setup is with bishop d7. And then here, I can just wait, I suppose. Okay, that's true. Good. It's good to be right once in a while. Okay, here I think I should just come down and bother this bishop somehow. But maybe not. Maybe first I should play a waiting move. Alright, so their winning idea is probably something like king d5 and then king c6 and kick the bishop. And then play king b6 and king a7 and promote on b8. So I should be able to meet king c6 with king d8. So if I play nothing, they play king d5, king f6, king c6. I'm too slow, so I think I have to play king f6. Okay, if that's an alternate, that makes me highly suspicious. I don't think it's necessary to review this every month. Like, I haven't done this book in almost a year, and I'm getting like almost everything completely right. It's only when I play too fast that I'm getting it wrong. So I don't think you should do the same stuff over and over again. It's important to see new things. Okay, so I'm gonna play a blockadey move. Okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm gonna play this move. Maybe I'm gonna go really far away. All right, finally. What a freaking relief. Okay, cool. King f6. And I'm making it in time, it looks like. No, I need to play bishop b8 here. See, I almost played a fast move again. Gotta stop them from going here. Okay. I'm mostly trying to solve these kind of quickly so that you guys can see more. So black to move, is it a draw? I don't know, is it a draw? Is it? Beats me. Just gonna play the best move there. I don't think you need to see anything. White to play, what do we do? What's the result? Okay, so this pawn is coming to d1, right? Am I seeing the board right? So I should just come over here with the king. Okay, so I do this, and I think I can take the pawn now. Alright, easy. Emma here. You change your name like every week, so I'm glad you told me it's you. I'm gonna do this for another like 15 minutes. Got some stuff to do, but this should be a draw. Okay, so do I push the pawn first, or do I play king g7 first? Or I'm sorry, king b2. If I play the move a2, I'm not threatening anything, so I think I should start with the flexible king move. Okay, I should go maybe. Okay, do I go to do I go to c1 or do I go in the corner? I think if I go in the corner, I'm gonna checkmate myself. So let me just calculate that. It might be interesting. So king a1, king to c2. I can only play either king a2, which would lead to defeat after rook a8, because I have to play king a1 and give up the pawn, or I have to play a2, and after a2, I think I can see more than one win, so I'm going to play this move instead. And perpetual. Okay, here I think I have to just push the pawn. But am I going to get stuck? a2, rook b8 check maybe? Okay, they don't have a tempo, so I can get a stalemate now. Cool. Is the 100 Endgames You Must Know worth it? Well, the best book is the one that you read. So if you're not going to do it, don't buy it. But if you're going to do it, and you're actually going to, read the book and give it some effort. Not like what I'm doing here, where I'm just like casually playing random moves. Like if you're going to actually sit down and focus and make sure you can do it by heart on the real board, then yeah, I think it is worth it. It has a lot of good examples. It's not actually 100 examples. It's something like almost 300 examples too, so you get some bang for your buck. Alright, here is an exception to the rule maybe. I think you can just push the pawn and go over here, because if they take the pawn, you take the rook. Haha. Alright, white to move. Is it worth playing on? Psh, I mean, why wouldn't it be worth playing on? Let's play c4. Let's play c5. Let's play c6. See, it's worth playing on. You have nothing else to do, you may as well push that pawn. Alright, white to play. Can he win? Can he? Well, first thing, let's not lose this pawn, right? We don't like that. If I play f6, that's stalemate, so I would not like that. So I will give up the pawn under better circumstances. And I think this should win. Because if they play king e8, I play king e6, and we've already seen that. White to move. What should he do, and with which result? How puzzling. I think the move is probably something like d4. Because if they play king e4, I can play king c2. If they play king takes d4, I play king d2, and that's a draw. So I think it's king 2. I'm sorry, I think it's pawn d4. I'm glad that was not an alternate. I was gonna like tear my hair out. Alright, white to move. Can he draw? I bet he can. If you recently bought Woodpecker Method, you should probably finish that before you get 100 endgames you must know. Just for economizing purposes. However, I also do think it's good to do your endgames and tactics at the same time. So maybe you could have like 3 books at once. An opening book, an endgame book, tactics book. That sounds like a good deal to me. Okay, so maybe knight g5. If they play c2, straightforward move. Alright, maybe it's not. Maybe it's knight f4, so that when they play c2, I can check on e2, and then play knight to d4. And the idea is just to take the pawn. Like, I don't care what happens. Like, check, king d2, knight d4. If they play c1 queen, I play knight b3 check, and that wins. So let me just double check that. Knight f4, c2, knight e2, king d1, knight d4, c1 queen. I don't have a check. Can't take the pawn. Maybe it's knight f2. Knight f2, c2. All the knight moves are possible. For a second, I thought Vidant was telling me to take my time. I'm just showing you the book. But you're talking to Mike here, who's calling everything easy when he's done only 5 puzzles, right? He should probably take his time. Alright, I think it's knight g5. c2, knight e4. Ugh, there's just no way. I'm about to lose on time. I should really know this stuff. This is annoying. Oh, knight g5, c2, knight f3. If they play king d1, I don't know. I clicked the wrong one. I was going to guess knight f4 because it makes more sense to go on b3 if possible. like this. I rejected this line because I thought that they would play king d1, but then I get on a2, so click the wrong square. Okay, white to play. Can he win? Yeah, he can win. Probably by f2, g3, h4, h5. Okay, that was easy. Alright, what's the correct result? I think this is a draw, but I have to play some kind of good move, if I remember correctly. Like a7. Ah, I did not mean to tap it. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm using this new tablet thing, and I'm really not good with it so far. Like, I'm always clicking the wrong stuff, and I have such a hard time right-clicking, but I'll get used to it. I did not mean to spoil the puzzle. So king f1 is what they want. And I have to go back, I guess? No, I have to go here. And then here. Alright, can white win? I think I have to cut the king like this. Yeah, that's right. Okay. What does white do? I should play king e1 so I don't lose. That's it. I think I have to play this move. Oh my god. They're gonna ask me this. There's gonna be like 10,000 alternates. It's time to be accurate, they say. Maybe knight d7. And then don't let them see the light of day ever again. Like this. Alright, so if I play king d6, king e8, bishop c4, that should do the trick. It's an alternate. I'm probably going to get it wrong. I always mess up on the alternates. Knight c5. But then they play king c7. I don't really want them to leave the edge of the board at this point. I want them to go to the corner that's light. I don't want to let them go to the dark corner. Knight e5 maybe? No. It's probably like knight f6, king c5, king c7, and then knight d5. That keeps the barrier. So they can't leave. Alright, cool. Good stuff. A chess set where almost all the pieces are horses except the knight, which is human. What would we call it? Equus? But here I see you're talking to me, but I don't know what you're asking. If you're asking about Dvoretsky's Endgame manual, I'm not going to buy it. I mean, I've already done that whole book, and I'm just not interested in doing it on Chessable. I don't have time for that kind of thing. I only have a couple hours a week to work on chess, so I'm not going to do the whole thing again. Besides, clearly I'm not like super amazing at these ones, so I should at least review this one time before I think about doing more content. Alright, white draws here with a weird move, I think. King f6. Yep. Okay, can black draw? I'm going down the board, so I think I should start with a king maneuver. Like that. And then push the pawn. Yep, makes sense. If I was like super good at this, then I would be able to solve them without thinking. But clearly I have some issues with that. Okay, so that was the basic test. And I didn't feel that tested. I mostly made mistakes from like misclicking. But I did find something very interesting in that one bishop endgame, so that was nice. Knight versus pawn. I also was very slow with the knight versus pawn examples, so I should review this. However, I think this is probably a good breaking point because I have to attend to the other things in life that are important. like work and my sanity. But it was great having you guys on stream. And if you guys want to see more of this, just comment when this gets posted on YouTube. And hopefully I'll see you guys on Discord. We can plan out some more live sessions. So thanks for tuning in. Bye, everyone.